it's Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualise, My Asexual Life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality. So subscribe and hit the bell icon. So, Philippa Duke story in Asexual Perspectives, because we're celebrating Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month, which does celebrate our diversity across the asexual spectrum and our differences within it, just like this Asexual Perspectives book does. Don't forget to grab a copy on Amazon. So, what does Philippa Duke think of BDSM and kinks? Being raised in a highly open and honest sexual environment where nothing is taboo to talk about, I don't kink shame. Some I really don't understand, and some are actually illegal. So if it is a really dark kink, like killing kittens or something, I will obviously not approve. As long as nobody dies or ends up with mental scars or is subject to abuse they don't want, I'm fine with it. So that's interesting. This person's asexual, but yeah. But I think that's horrible when people have dark kinks like that about killing kittens and some disgusting stuff like that, you know? I personally, just to let you know, because I'm doing this video, because some asexuals are into kinks and BDSM, I personally am not into BDSM. I'm not into kinks. I don't like anything like that at all. I don't like someone exerting power and control over me, or me doing that to assert authority over someone and stuff like that. I just don't like it. I don't like power plays. I don't like BDSM stuff or kinks or anything like that. I'm not into it personally. But, you know, everyone's different. So I have a friend who's into it, but I'm personally into some BDSM stuff, but I'm not. So, Cassidy's story. What's your view on BDSM and kinks? I've been known to participate in BDSM because I like to feel in control. I would probably make a great dominatrix. My kinks I find comical, but that's rude, so I try not to laugh out loud. So yeah, I think it's really interesting that this person does like BDSM and kinks. Like, I get guys sometimes approach me because they think I'm a dominatrix because I'm not submissive. However, I did do a test. I think it was on marriage.com a long time ago. And it came out that I am submissive. So I don't really understand that. But it came out that I do have a submissive streak in me and not dominant. But I would say out of submissive and dominant, I'm definitely not submissive. But according to the test I did, that's not true. So yeah, I couldn't do the dominatrix stuff. Like, I'm not into power control and stuff like that. I don't think it's healthy personally at all. Even if someone wants me to control them, I'm like, if someone just says take control of kissing because they're not used to kissing, even that a lot of the time I want them to make the first move. But you know what I mean? If someone says take control of the kissing because I know what I'm doing, I'm more experienced, then I'm okay with that. But kind of like, it would more likely be that I was training them up to kiss me the way I like to be kissed, not that I'm permanently wanting to dominate them like that or something. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, Celia Altman's story. BDSM, I don't personally partake, but it's intriguing to watch the trust and relationship dynamics of a dom and sub at play. And I have my kinks, but wouldn't want to act them out with anyone. For me, sexual acts and desires are entirely personal and private. So, let's see what else. Oh, Zoe's story. Porn wounds the soul, she says. Same goes for BDSM and kink. So Zoe was talking about porn, and Zoe said, They wish porn didn't exist because it is extremely hurtful to women. No matter what people may delude themselves into thinking, the majority of women in the porn industry don't enjoy what they do. Many have physical/emotional abuse in their past and or problems with alcohol or drugs. Porn wounds the soul. Same goes for BDSM and kinks. So, yeah. Geeks Vanderpool story. My view on BDSM is it's not my cup of tea, but I would like people who like it to enjoy it. Same goes for kinks. Right. So for me, BDSM is a cathartic experience, says Adair Gearhart. Much like I imagine sex is for other people, I walk away from it feeling renewed and cleansed. Lee River, I feel the same way about that. Hi Lee, which I just saw your comment, so I don't know which story you were commenting on. Were you commenting on the one I just read, which was Adair's one, which was for me, BDSM is a cathartic experience, much like I imagine sex is for other people. I walk away from it feeling renewed and cleansed, or were you talking about the previous one? So I've only just seen your comment when I looked up because I'm reading from Asexual Perspectives book at the moment, which you can get on Amazon. So, right. So we've done a Gears Heart story. Right. So, Callie's story. As far as Lee, let's go back to Lee in chat about wanting people to enjoy BDSM or kinks if that's what they both want to share. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I mean, I think people who do it, if they like it, is consensually want to do it, then like someone else previously said, I wouldn't personally like it if it involved killing something like animals, dark kinks and stuff. So however much someone enjoys it, if it involves hurting like a animal or something else, I don't actually like people hurting people, so I don't like BDSM personally, because I don't BDSM a lot of the time is well, it's sadomasochism, isn't it? That's what SM stands for. It stands for pleasure through pain, and I personally don't like that concept. But obviously, if people are going to do that, then I hope people enjoy or like doing that. So with Callie's story, as for BDSM and kinks, I'm exceptionally supportive. I've never engaged in any of that personally, but I have friends who have, and honestly, I can see the appeal. Generally too sexual for me to ever try anything out, but I can see why people would be drawn to something like that. So yeah. Jen Mullen's story. I'm not personally into BDSM or any kinky things, but as long as the people who are doing that are consenting adults and not trying to involve me, I fully support them. Yeah, I mean, I have a friend who's into some BDSM stuff, and they know I don't like it at all, but I'm supportive in the sense I listen to them, and if they like it, they like it. Do you know what I mean? It's important that people enjoy what they enjoy. Do you know what I mean? So Samantha G's story, BDSM and kinks, they gross me out, but if you enjoy it, more power to you. Yeah, I'm not into kinks either. Some or fetishes, because years ago I used to have guys, for kissing, because I like kissing, but I used to have guys putting me against wall to kiss me, which is supposed to be very seductive. It's supposed to be very sexy and sensual experience, but even that, I got to a point where I didn't really like that. I felt trapped. So if a guy wants me to put him against the wall and kiss him, because he wants me to do that, which I would only do gently anyway, then that's okay. But I'm not into being up against the wall with the guy in front of me, because I feel like I'm trapped. Personally, that's the way I feel. So yeah, it doesn't feel good. Um, so yeah, I know I have a friend who likes BDSM stuff such as spanking. I'm not at all interested in that. I did, however, join a long time ago a Facebook group called Non-Vanilla Aces. Now, I just thought this meant non-vanilla asexuals, which I thought meant grey asexuals. But when I joined the group, shortly after that, I discovered that it didn't mean that at all, that it actually meant people who were into kinks, fetishes, and BDSM stuff. And in that group, a lot of them like to do role play where they dress up in outfits like kitten suits and role play stuff. And I just am not into that at all. I think I'm still in the group. I haven't left it, but I was kind of staying in there just to kind of like see how the other half lives, if you know what I mean. See what other people are like a little bit, as much as I could stand, which was not much. But I never actually left the group. So I don't know if they've like turfed me out by now because I'm inactive in it or what. But yeah, some of the stuff made me uncomfortable, but that's my choice to whether I'm in there or not, because obviously I joined someone else's group. So that's what they like to talk about in there. But I didn't have a clue that that's what it meant. Probably because I'm very innocent like that. There's also someone who follows me on X, and they are into BDSM stuff. They kind of it's kind of on their profile. And also when I was in one of my old jobs, I used to know someone who's bisexual, and she had a boyfriend, and she was into BDSM stuff like with the collar and handcuffs. She used to come to work with a photograph of handcuffs, and you could see the marks around where she'd had a collar on her neck. So that was pretty awful from my point of view, because I don't like seeing that. I don't even like I didn't used to so much mind love bites, but having love bite even on my neck now, I don't really like it that much because I think it hurts. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not really even into that. But I don't like the concept of pleasure through pain, because I actually do have a pain condition, which is fibromyalgia. That's a chronic pain condition that affects the nerves and muscles of the body. And at the moment, when I'm recording this live in July 2024, I've got 2 broken bones in my vertebrae in my spine, thoracic spine. So that makes things a lot more painful for me. And it's like I've got enough pain in my life. There is no way I want more pain, and I don't find pain pleasurable. I find I manage pain really well, but it's more like being a Navy SEAL. Do you know what I mean? Like, it takes a lot of guts to manage the amount of pain I have on a daily basis. So for me, adding more pain, which is meant to be pleasurable, I don't find that concept pleasurable at all. I'm not interested in it personally. Also, I did a pattern changing course with Stop Abuse for Everyone. And that was in 2013. It's a 14-week course. And in that course, they specifically teach you that things that are abusive are things like hair pulling, like slapping, kicking, punching, anything like that. And obviously some BDSM stuff does involve slapping, does involve hair pulling or gripping hair. I know people say it's consensual, but even if someone told me that they consent to me hitting them, I wouldn't go and do that, because I just couldn't do it. I can't go around hurting people like that, even if they say they want it. To me, that's in my mind, because I'm not into BDSM. To me, that's like a little kid who's saying, "Oh, I deserve to be punished because I'm such a horrible child because some people have made them believe that they are so evil or such a horrible person that they can't exist and get the love and respect and care they want because they're not worth it." So I think it depends how people go into BDSM stuff, I think, and the mentality behind it. But I personally don't like it. I don't like people punishing other people or having control or exerting it over, because if you look at the signs of abusive relationships, that's how abusive relationships are, where one person is having control and power over another one and dominating them and controlling them and manipulating them, and it's not nice. And so from my point of view, I don't think it's good. And the pattern changing course that had a lot of things in it that class as abuse that is actually in BDSM stuff. And so that's personally another reason why I don't agree with it personally. But like I said, I have a friend who's into it. So I know people who follow me that's into it. So that's up to them, if they like it, enjoy it, then they do it, right? but I personally cannot ever condone, as in I can't agree with that. I can accept they do it, but I personally don't agree that it's a good thing to do. But there are quite a number of asexuals in the community that do that. There's a site called asexuality.com, and that's got different groups for different types of asexuals, and one of the types of asexuals is for BDSM and kinks and stuff like that. So they specifically have that type of thing on there. So there are groups for asexuals who are into this type of thing. And I think it's probably more common than people think, because there's a lot of asexuals that do like role play, but some of it's quite innocent, like Marvel stuff or, superhero stuff, which I think is much better. But obviously some of it is like bondage stuff and that. I personally am not into anything like that. And interestingly enough, when I have been with heterosexual guys in the past in a relationship scenario, then none of my heterosexual exes ever asked me to do any BDSM stuff, any kink stuff, any fetishes, anything like that, which I was really glad about, because I didn't really even know about that years ago, because I was never in those types of relationships and I never even thought about that. I didn't even think about sex until until the 15-year-old that I was with pulled out a condom in a drawer. And then when I was 16, my first how can I put it, serious boyfriend, he was he was wanting sex. So I never thought about it. Like, for me personally, I never go around thinking about stuff like that. So it's obvious I was always asexual, but didn't realize it. So I just think that it's personally better for me that I'm not involved in anything like that, I know what I like. I mean, it's hard sometimes because I do get some guys, even in the asexual community, who do have, for example, foot fetishes. And a foot fetish, from what I understand of asexuals into feet fetishes, like Indian guys seem to have foot fetishes, the ones I ever spoke to online, which is a long time ago. They want to play with the feet, massage the feet, I think lick and kiss the feet and stuff like that. Whereas when it's with sexuals, my understanding is they want the foot to be playing with the guy's genitalia. So yeah. So there's a distinct difference between an asexual foot fetish there and a sexual foot fetish. But I don't know, some asexuals might like that as well. But without the actual intercourse, it is possible. Some asexuals like BDSM stuff, but without the penetration or the intercourse, So I think everyone's beautifully nuanced and different. I know, however, there has been some people, I don't watch the news, but I know in the past I've seen stuff flash up on my feed where girls have died at the hands of guys that said they were having rough sex, which is usually part of BDSM stuff. And, and it got out of hand and that's how she died. When I see stuff like that, I think it's just horrifying. But I cannot condone slapping, hitting, pulling of hair. I've had guys say to me, "Can you do this for me?" And I'm like, "No, I can't. I can't be in a relationship with you because I can't do that." And I really don't think I'm a dominatrix at all. Like I don't want to do that type of role. And I think some guys are into that, like a number of mistresses, not just one. I'm fiercely monogamous and I don't like the idea of controlling someone. I want someone to be free to choose to be with me and to choose to do the things they want to do without me having any power or control over that person. I think it's good in relationships to be able to have a certain amount of influence over each other in a healthy way. I think that's kind of normal after you've been together a while, because you're merging two or more if you're polyamorous, two if you're monogamous. You're merging two people's lives together. So you're going to end up influencing each other because you're going to want to do shared experiences as well as experiences separately. So I think, it's okay if you're in a relationship and you have some influence a little bit over the other person, if it's a healthy influence. But I think, personally, I think the control thing is not good. But I have watched some documentaries, I think 2 or 3 of them on YouTube, where they have people who are in relationships and they're into BDSM stuff, because I think it's important as a asexual writer who obviously wrote in asexual perspectives and did interview people who are into BDSM and kinks. Then I think it's important that I do understand a bit about what's going on. And I have had guys who want me to be a dominatrix. I'm like, what the hell is a dominatrix? What does it involve? And so I've read up about it a little bit. And I'm just like, I read up about it, then I get very repulsed. And I'm like, I really can't be doing with this. It's too repulsive for me. Lee River makes me cringe. Yeah, I agree. It makes me cringe as well. And I don't personally like the whole pleasure through pain thing. I think I've got enough pain in my life. For me, pleasure is like, you know, is doing enjoyable things, relaxing, chilling out, and having deep, meaningful conversations with the person, and being really best friends that's got each other's back, that's always there for each other, especially in times of need. I think that's really important. I haven't found the right romantic guy for a relationship with me yet. So I don't know if that'll ever happen. If it doesn't, it doesn't. As long as I um keep myself happy. The psychological aspect of BDSM, humiliation, makes me recoil. I don't like that either, Lee. I mean, I don't want to offend anyone who is into BDSM stuff, but personally for me, I think I'm not sure saying this goes for everyone, but I think some people are into BDSM because they have had trauma and feelings of unworthiness in the past, and they feel like they deserve to be humiliated and they deserve to be slapped and stuff, and they deserve punishment for their childhood or for the way they are, because they're such a terrible person, and that sends a damaging message to someone. It says, in order to have a relationship with someone, I need to hurt you, or in order for you to feel better, you have to have pain. And actually, you need to release those negative emotions. But I wouldn't say having more pain and more like slapping and all that type of thing is actually going to solve the problem. You're better off working with a therapist or counselor, to sort those difficulties out. I'm not saying this is true for everyone, but I think it is true for some people. I think that some people do want to be hurt physically because they've gone through a lot of pain and trauma in their life, and they probably do feel it's a release. But it's better to have like talking therapies where you can actually work through those emotions and them go through you and come out of you, rather than adding more stuff to that. You know what I mean? Because hitting someone, pulling someone's hair, slapping someone, I personally, I personally see that as an abusive thing. And in abusive relationships, it is one of the signs. Like I said, I did a pattern changing course with the company, an organization called Stop Abuse for Everyone. It's a professional company. You can look it up. It still exists in the UK. And, they teach people about abusive relationships and how to spot abuse in relationships. And it was a 14-week course I did, pattern changing, one of the best courses I've ever done in my entire life. And it just, it says like slapping, punching, hair pulling, all this is abuse. So you could be in a relationship with a guy and he could just pull your hair and you could think that's innocent, but it's actually not. It's a red flag for abuse. So yeah, I don't personally like any of this type of stuff. Even if I have a guy begging me to hit him and stuff, I can't do it. To me, that's just abuse. And I can't be that type of person. If someone went to hurt me, then I would defend myself. I'm not saying I would never defend myself. I have defended myself in the past. I've had to. In the end, you get so sick of being in an abusive relationship that sometimes I have in the past. I don't like that because I don't like being that type of person. And thank God I haven't been in any such situation for many, many, many years. Like over 13 years now. But if I had to defend myself, I would. So I think it's good to defend yourself, but you know, like going around just doing it for pleasure. I don't personally like it, but there are asexuals that do enjoy parts of BDSM without the penetration. I think, you know, if people want to dress up in costumes, that's not really hurting anyone necessarily. But my ex did buy me a Santa outfit years ago so I could sit, you know, so I could look pretty and sit on his lap and have sex in a Santa outfit, which to me was just like, oh, like I looked really good in the Santa outfit, but it's like I don't want to be like dressed up to have sex. Like that was when I did have sex, but I think if someone's gonna have sex with me, they should just love my body the natural way that it looks, not want to put something on it to do that. That doesn't mean to say I'm opposed to clothes attraction or aesthetic attraction. I have clothes attraction. I have aesthetic attraction. But I don't go around saying to a guy, can you purposely dress up in these clothes so I can do X, Y, and Z to you? Like if a guy wears certain type of clothes and I find him more attractive in them, I'll say, God, I find you really attractive in this. Or I like this look. I like these clothes you wear or that clothes you wear. Then he might wear them more. That's his free will. But I won't go around saying to a guy, can you make sure you put these clothes on before I do this? Purposely to do that, you know what I mean? I don't like that. I think it's okay to dress in superhero stuff if you like superhero stuff, just because it's fun. And you know, and you know, if it's not, if you're into BDSM stuff and it's not harming anyone, it's not killing anyone, it's not being brutal to anyone, then I think that is a better way to go. But the whole point of BDSM is that it's pleasure through pain, so there's always an element of pain in there, you know, that's kind of the point. And yeah, but it's good to hear other asexual perspectives. It's good to realize there are people in the asexual community that do have kinks or into kinks and BDSM, even though I'm personally not, because there's so many different stereotypes about asexuality and what it isn't, that it's good to actually show a different perspective of asexuality and say, hey, just because someone's asexual, they might not want sex, doesn't mean to say they can't be into some BDSM or kink stuff. And I think that's really important to note that. So anyway, thank you, Lee River, for being in the chat tonight. I really appreciate you. It's nice to see you. And I'd love to know your thoughts, comments, and anything that you want to share down below this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell icon so never miss an episode, and grab a copy of Asexual Perspectives on Amazon and Diary Confessions of a Hyperromantic Asexual, also on Amazon. Both of these books are best-selling asexual books, beating a lot of sexual books, I might add. Yeah, nice to meet you, Lee. Take care. Lots of love. I'll see you soon in the next video live stream. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now or post a new video. I'm going to check your books out. Oh, thank you, Lee. Yeah, this Asexual Perspectives on Amazon, so does Diary Confessions. The Asexual Perspectives can actually be got on Barnes & Noble as well, Blackwell's, Waterstones, and Walmart. This one at the moment is just on Amazon. This was a bestseller this year when it came out, #1 hot new release on Amazon.com and Amazon.co.uk. It was in April. I'm doing the workbook currently to go with this. The 78 Life Lessons to Ace Your Life is actually going to have a workbook that you can buy as well. So there's 78 life lessons in here, but I'm expanding on them in the workbook, which is amazing. So I'm currently doing that one. But yes, go and check them out, Lee, and anyone else that's watching. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you a lot. So take care, lots of love. I'll see you soon next video live stream. Don't forget, like I said, subscribe, hit the bell icon, thumbs up, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for checking my books out, Lee. Take care. Bye.